According to spoilers for the upcoming 2 weeks of The Bold and the Beautiful BNB, which run from October 20th to October 31st, Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, will declare about Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, while Hope Logan, Annika Noel, rushes to Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, and Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn, mulls over a puzzle. They will all appreciate having the entire family together again when Steffy returns home to Los Angeles with Hayes Finnegan, Brian David Garlick, and Kelly Spencer, Sophia Parras, during the week of October 20th to 24th. But in the end, Finn will have to give Steffy the worst surprise of all when he reveals that Luna is still alive and carrying Will Spencer's, Crew Morrow, unborn child. Steffy will essentially announce that she will not allow Luna to use her kid as a way out of jail once she has received information on all that has transpired. According to BNB spoilers, Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park, will irritate Luna when she visits the prison. Additionally, Will and Katie Logan, Heather Tom, will be assured by Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, that they will have no trouble obtaining custody of the child when the time comes. Later on, Electra Forrester, Lania Grace, would come to a realization regarding Wood and Luna. Could Electra suddenly realize that she can't live with Will and Luna's eternal connection? Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, will ultimately receive more marriage counseling from Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, when Sheila Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, implores him to get back in touch with her. Deke will also wonder why Christian Weissman's character Remy Price is so uncomfortable with his name being mentioned at Forrester Creations. Deke will find it difficult to comprehend why Remy doesn't want to be addressed because it's obvious. Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, will next be questioned about Hope by Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire. Carter will reassure her that they are attempting to get past the unpleasant situation and become friends. Is Daphne going to use it as an opportunity to kiss Carter again? Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, and Deacon will encourage Hope to return to Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. It may result with Hope pitching Liam on a romantic reunion, which he will undoubtedly accept because he previously offered it. Hope should have some meaningful remarks over the week of October 27th to 31st, which may also pave the way for a more formal reunification with Liam. In the upcoming episodes, Liam may even be considering a marriage proposal. Sheila will attempt to persuade him that there is hope for their future together, but Deacon will also need to decide whether he can forgive her lies. Remy can become enraged upon learning of Deke and Electra's developing friendship. Deke should soon learn that Remy made Electra's life a complete nightmare in the past, but he doesn't yet. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Remy and Deke's romance might be in danger if the truth is revealed, so pay attention. As autumn sunlight spilled across the Forrester estate, Steffy Forrester stood on the balcony overlooking the gardens, her thoughts heavy with the news that had shattered her brief peace. Luna Nozawa was alive, imprisoned, and pregnant with Will Spencer's child, and though she tried to steady her breath, rage and disbelief flickered behind her composed expression like a barely contained flame. Finn had broken the news gently, his tone cautious yet filled with regret, knowing this revelation would cut deep, reopening wounds she thought had long healed, and as she turned toward him, her eyes welled with unshed tears not only for the betrayal she felt from the world's cruel twists but for the shadow of her family's past mistakes, forever repeating through new generations. Steffy vowed that Luna's pregnancy would not absolve her crimes, not after everything Luna had done to tear lives apart, and she swore that the Forrester family name would not again be dragged into chaos by another woman's manipulation. Meanwhile, at Spencer Publications, Bill Spencer was pacing his office, pouring himself a drink he didn't need, thinking of Luna, the girl he had once tried to save. Now a pregnant prisoner carrying his son's unborn child, and though he masked his turmoil with bravado, inside he felt the sharp sting of guilt. Perhaps he could have done more to protect her, perhaps if he had fought harder to keep her under house arrest, she wouldn't be back behind cold steel bars. Katie Logan entered quietly, her voice calm but firm as she told Bill that Will deserved a chance at a normal life. A clean slate, away from the chaos Luna brought, but Bill's reply was swift and stern, saying that no matter what, that baby was his grandchild, and he'd see to it that both child and father had everything they needed. Will, however, was not as stoic. He sat in his room replaying every moment with Luna, haunted by the memory of her touch, her laughter, and the darkness that crept into her eyes when everything fell apart, and though he tried to convince himself that their love was doomed from the start, deep down he still felt the pull, that inexplicable connection, the same one Electra Forrester sensed and feared would destroy her fragile heart. Electra, ever the poised yet passionate young woman, wandered through Forrester Creations late that evening, lost in thought. She recalled Luna's arrest, the sound of sirens, the betrayal that burned like acid in her veins when she realized her call to the police had set in motion a chain of heartbreaks she could no longer stop, and though she told herself she'd done the right thing, the guilt was eating her alive. Across town, Poppy Nozawa sat in the visitation room of the prison, clutching the small bundle of papers that held Luna's legal documents, her hands trembling as she waited. When Luna appeared, her face pale, her eyes fierce but tired, Poppy's breath caught. Their reunion was not soft nor warm. It was an explosion of unspoken accusations and aching love, a mother and daughter trapped in a cycle of pain and pride. Luna, her hand resting protectively over her growing belly, hissed that she didn't need pity or promises, she needed freedom. She needed a way to prove she was more than the mistakes everyone branded her with. Poppy tried to reason, to warn her daughter that playing the victim wouldn't save her this time, but Luna's sharp laugh echoed against the concrete walls, defiant and broken all at once. She would not beg, not even now. Outside, Deacon Sharp found himself once again at a crossroads of his own, torn between the remnants of his loyalty to Sheila and the unexpected solace he found in Taylor Hayes' calm guidance. Sheila had appeared at Il Giardino late one night, eyes red-rimmed, begging him to listen, to forgive, to remember that what they had was real, while Taylor's words lingered in his mind, that forgiveness could only come when truth outweighed passion. Deacon felt trapped, much like Luna herself, between two worlds of deceit and desire, but as he stared at his reflection in the darkened restaurant window, he realized he had to uncover the truth about the strange unease surrounding Remy Price. Remy had been evasive for weeks, jumpy every time his name came up at Forrester Creations, and when Deacon casually mentioned Electra's name, Remy's reaction was instant. A flash of fear masked by arrogance, a smirk that didn't reach his eyes, and Deacon's instincts screamed that something dangerous was lurking beneath that calm surface. Meanwhile, at Forrester, Daphne Rose was scheming in her own subtle way. Her interest in Carter Walton had never waned, and when she heard from Paris that Carter and Hope were trying to rebuild their friendship, she saw an opening. With her elegant charm and quiet persistence, Daphne found herself accidentally running into Carter more often, each encounter laced with gentle teasing and an undercurrent of romantic tension, and one evening, as they stayed late finalizing designs for the Hope for the Future line, Daphne brushed her hand against his, a small gesture that carried enormous weight. Carter, ever the gentleman, hesitated, torn between loyalty to his friend and the undeniable spark of something new, but before he could speak, Daphne leaned in and kissed him, soft, uncertain, yet full of promise. Across town, Hope Logan was grappling with her own storm. After yet another talk with her parents, she stood in front of Liam Spencer's door, heart pounding. Brooke and Deacon's voices echoed in her mind, urging her to go back, to rebuild, to remember what love had once meant. When Liam opened the door, his surprise melted into warmth, and without words, Hope confessed that she missed him. Not the man he was before, but the man who stood before her now, a father, a friend, a partner who had weathered too many storms yet still looked at her like she was home. Liam, overcome with emotion, pulled her close, whispering that he'd never stopped believing in their story. And as the evening light faded into gold, they found themselves on the path back to each other, tentative but real. Elsewhere, Deacon and Sheila's